Hi, it's Steph, and today we're going to go through a tabletop warm-up. So one of my favorite ways to warm up is from the ground first before we move into our standing postures. So we're going to start in a tabletop position. So when you move into your tabletop, I want you to think about playing with the position of your hands, playing with the position of your knees and your feet, and just moving through your spine. So for me, I might do a little walk side to side just to see where my hands land. Everyone is different. I have some long, kind of lanky arms, so my hands need to be a little bit wider than someone else maybe. And then I'm going to do a little flow through the spine, just kind of waving side to side. This starts to wake up my hips a little bit, and it just feels good to move in some spinal waves. So just start here, kind of neutralizing, starting to grip into the mat with the fingers. And then we're going to find our center and soften the elbows as we scoop the chest through, sending the tailbone back, looking out. And exhale, soften and round, tucking in, moving into our cat-cow flow. Inhaling and exhaling. So when I bend my elbows in between, I get a lot more range of motion than just moving from here without softening. And then usually for me, I tend to lock my elbows if I don't soften. So I like to do a little bend. And then you could also try without and just see how that feels. You might move more predominantly from the lower back and the hips, or maybe you move more from the upper back, thoracic. So trying to wake up the spine in all of those places, add that soft bend in. And then from here, coming to table, I'm going to soften and send my right leg back. Notice when I lift that my leg is about hips width, so I'm not lifting super high. I'm also not opening my hip to the side, so my hip is facing down so that my core is engaged in this position. Soften the elbows. Inhale as I exhale, hug the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, sending it back. Exhale, hugging in. Inhale. Exhale. Last one here, I'm going to hug in, and I'm going to lift and step my right foot towards my right hand. So now I'm in a little low lunge from table, and I'm just going to do a little rocking forward and back. Now I can stay right here. Otherwise, I'm going to bring my left hand underneath my shoulder, and I'm going to rotate my chest and body open towards the back wall, towards my right knee. From here, I'm going to find a circle sweep, down and around. Inhale. And exhale, noticing that I'm not just moving through my arm, and my arm is bending as well. So I soften the joints, and then I express the pose. And I can make this circle as big or small as I'd like. One more, reaching the arm up, maybe overhead, maybe bringing your hand to your hip to rotate the chest. And then coming back to center. From here, I'm going to send it back to that single leg table and then set my right foot down. So my toes are on the mat. I'm just doing a little rocking here forward and back. This is just a nice stretch for the toes, for the calves, for the ankle. And then slowly coming back. Shake it out, neutralize. From here, I might do a little wrist mobility, maybe walking my hands around. Peeling the fingers off the mat a little bit, maybe doing a palm up position. Maybe I'm just coming down into my elbows. So it's always good to give the wrists a little bit of a break in between any heavy loading of the wrists and the fingers and the forearms. From here, I'm going to come down to a resting pose. Maybe that's just staying on my forearms. Maybe it's sitting back and sending my hips back into a half dog, or maybe it's coming all the way back in a child's pose. Reach through the arms, spread the fingers, sitting back in whatever comfortable resting position you find. Breathing into the belly. And then from here, inhale as you exhale, continue to lift yourself up, wave your spine forward, walk your hands out if you need to. Inhale at the top of that plank on your knees, and exhale, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. From here, maybe walk your hands out a little bit wider, coming up onto your finger pads for some cobra waves. Use that exhale to draw in and up. Exhale, lifting. Making sure I'm lifting from the core and the front spine, engaging and not just dumping into the low back. only lifting up as high as I need to. A couple more here. One more time. Maybe I want to stay a little lower. And then bring the hands in. So you're back at the bottom of that push-up. Inhale as you exhale, press back. And then from here, taking the knees a little bit wider, find some hip circles all the way around. Softening again through the elbows as you move, kind of waving the spine. And this could be a really small movement, or it could be a much bigger movement. And then switching, going the other direction. Inhale and exhale. Do one more here, and then walk the hands back, find your tabletop position. Readjust, shake out, whatever you need to. Let's move to the other side. Soften the elbows, send the left leg back. Inhale, exhale, hug in. Inhale back, remember that softening in between to create space. Drawing in and out through the core. Two more, inhale, exhale. Last one, hug in and step that left foot towards the left hand, however you need to get there. And a little rock here, forward and back. Taking your right hand on the shoulder this time, rotate open towards the left and find that circle sweep. Down and around, softening and expressing that pose. Again, work within your range of motion, but make sure you're moving through both the arm and the leg. One more here, reaching that top arm maybe up, maybe overhead, or maybe bringing the hand to your hip, gently opening, and bringing it back down to center. Send that left leg back and set the left toes down on the ground. Find that rock forward and back. Again, just stretching out the toes, the ankle, feels good. And then coming back to table. And then maybe coming down into your resting pose. Coming down onto the forearms, maybe half dog, maybe full child's pose. Take a few more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, continuing on, or maybe that's all the movement and mobility you need for today.